Welcome to the weekly show for the Galleries of Granbury. I'm Joel Beck, the program specialist at Tarleton's Langdon Center, one of the galleries that's open to the public daily. Along with your private collection, Martha Scoggin at the Granbury Square Plaza, Cynthia James at Artifacts, and the folks at the Lake Granbury Art Association at the Shanley House by the library. We'd like to welcome you to our weekly program, which is a little bit educational and a little bit informational. We do have some folks that are showing off their art and showing off how they do their art, so that's the education aspect. And we'd also like to keep you up to date on the artists that are exhibiting and what's going on in our town.
Welcome to the June last Saturday Gallery Night. This month we're featuring artist Stacy Watkins and her resin glow art. You'll be able to see her work as well as some of our new additions during the month of July, leading up to our next last Saturday Gallery Night, which will be July 30th. We hope you can come then. Some of the things you're going to see this month in the gallery are some new additions of metal art by Jeff Smith. He's got some beautiful pieces that will make great additions to any home, as well as some really fun ones. This one I want to point out because it is so cute. This is the courting armadillo with his little flowers and his hat in his hand. And now I hope you enjoy the segment on Stacy and the process that she makes her resin glow art. It's one of a kind, and as Southern Living said, it's a must-see. So please come in and see it.
Hi, my name is Stacy Watkins, and I am a resin mixed medium artist. My art actually absorbs natural sunlight and then glows in the dark, so you're not only getting a piece that shows up during daylight, but also a piece that will absorb UV energy and then glow at night. This is one of the pieces right here, and as you can see, when I say mixed medium, I really mean mixed medium. I don't box myself in at all to any kind of certain type of medium. This piece is actually another piece that does store sunlight and then glows in the dark. Here at your private collection, we don't have any windows here to show our pieces in the back, so what we do is simulate with black light, and the black light provides it with the UV energy that you actually get from sunlight. So in the optimal place for these pieces, they don't need any, or the ideal place for these pieces would be to be in sunlight, and then at night whenever you're going to bed or whatever, just turn off the lights and the pieces will glow. So you don't need any black light at all, you just need sunlight. This is another piece that glows very, very brightly, and you'll see in just a minute when we turn off the lights, and you'll be able to witness the pieces glow. This piece is called Cast with Green, and as you can see, it has a very bright green that glows. And how this works, the phosphorescent, which means a pigment that will store energy from the sunlight, will actually trap photons in a molecule and then emit them whenever the lights go out. And this piece will actually glow, gosh, anytime. It glows for many hours. This will actually glow up to about 12 hours. This piece is the piece that is going to be demonstrated for you, and it also will glow up to 12 hours down here on the bottom. Her bodice will actually glow for about 6 hours. And you can see she has wings. It's an angel piece. This piece right here is called Cajun Sunset. Now, whenever the pieces actually glow in the dark and don't have any black light showing on them, they are a lot brighter and show a different spectrum of color. And so right now, we do the best we can do here at your private collection to show the pieces glowing, but they will actually have a little bit different glow at night. Now this piece on the back wall, her name is Sent To, and as you can see, she is an angel. And she's quite vivid whenever she glows in the dark. And the piece behind it is just a small conch shell sculpture. We have many pieces here at your private collection of the phosphorescent artwork, so hopefully we'll see you soon in the future. What we have here is a piece that is being created by me, Stacy Watkins, and I'm a resin artist, and my pieces actually are phosphorescent, which means they absorb natural sunlight and then glow in the dark. So what I've done right here is actually make, you can see, a bodice of a woman and taken some paint and painted around her. I've made this bodice out of resin, which is impregnated with UV phosphorescent materials or pigments, and mixed it with the resin. And I've also got here some tempered glass that I've decided to put into my piece, and some paper after I've painted her, and then some iridescent filming. You can see that she's also going to have some pieces that were pre-made resin pieces. This is I used a gold metallic in it mixed with the resin. Resin is a two-part liquid that actually hardens with gas. And what I'm about to do is mix my materials, the resin, and choose the different pigments that I want to put in it, and then I'll pour over my piece here, my angel. And then I'm going to go back and add different resin pre-made pieces in different various colors. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of them over here that I've already pre-made for this project and others, like this piece, this little red, resin piece here. And then I'll choose to put different materials in my pieces. Pretty simple to me. Sometimes I choose to put metal, plasma cutted metal or plasma cut metal into the pieces, and just different materials that I feel, whatever I feel will enhance my piece that I'm making. Sometimes whenever I choose to do different types of medium in my pieces besides just the resin or the different papers, I will actually cut metal with a plasma cutter. And as you can see, this piece right here, and there's various pieces in this piece right here that are cut with a plasma cutter. Alright, what I use to do my pouring is a respirator right here. There are oxygen-filled respirators that are occasionally that I have to use, but to protect myself from getting any toxic fumes from the VOCs in the resin I use this nice mask. So I probably won't be able to narrate what I'm about to do very well, so I'm going to tell you beforehand. What I use is a crystal clear resin called Crystal Clear 202 from Reynolds Plastics Advanced Materials, and I mix my part B right here, which is the resin, and then this A is the catalyst, and I do a ratio of 9 to 10 on them. So what you're about to see is me mixing my resin, and at first I do a clear pour over my piece to ensure strength, and then I come back, and that's where I add the pigments to it after my first pour is set up, and then I'll also add different types of material to my piece to build it up, and then do it in layers to have a complete finished art piece. So if you'll bear with me, I will go ahead and put my mask on, and then you can watch me do my first pour, and then from then on, you'll just, if you can imagine me putting pieces into the art piece. So
Oh, and this actually takes about 90 seconds to start setting up, and then it'll take 90 minutes to actually completely be set. So we'll be leaving after the first pour. Most people want to always use a measuring or be able to weigh this out. I've gotten where I do it by feel. I've done it so much. So if you'll just bear with me and just, you know, watch me do it my way. So. And you can also vary your resin in different ways, like if you want a lot of bubbles, which is not usually the correct way, but if you're trying to get different types of elasticity in your resin, you can vary your catalyst. And this is when the gases start releasing. So this is when you want to make sure you always have protection on. It's also a good idea to be wearing sleeves and always have your feet covered. Right now I'm working in a garage where it's about 100 degrees. And so if you do this at home, definitely wear arm protection too. It's always best to try not to get any plastic that has lines in it. This particular plastic does. And how I avoid showing those lines is I'll go through with my layering and be able to correct that. So, like I said, it's always best but sometimes with the lines in the plastic, it helps you create a border on it. You just have to make sure they're not so pronounced lines that it's going to cause your piece to become two pieces. So, right now, I'm going to exit and wait for this to set up. Over here is the finished product, and that's the piece I showed you earlier with the cut resin and the other materials in it. This piece is basically finished. I will add another layer of resin over it just to ensure the sheen to it. And right here I've actually painted this red, and I want to encapsulate that and give it more of a sheen and probably add a little bit more glow to it and a backdrop that glows so my piece has a 3D look to it when it's on the wall. Behind it will actually glow and it will look like it's hovering on the wall. But I'm going to leave you with this completed piece so you have an idea of what goes into my pieces. And like I said, you can see these pieces at your private collection art gallery. And hopefully we'll see you on Saturday night gallery night. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Tarleton State University's Langdon Center. I'm Joel Beck, the program specialist here. Tonight we're closing out our show for this month, August, with Mila Weber. We've had a great show, the colorful works of artist Mila Weber, originally from Russia. So as you'll see, there's a lot of kind of folksy styling to it that's you don't see every day. So it's been a great show, a great month. Next month, we will have a faculty member from the main campus, Mark Davis, a longtime faculty member. And he's bringing us some big, colorful work, so that'll be great. Also, our Rio Brazos, the submissions are in. We've got our 50 artists. We've got a lot of regional artists, some folks from South Carolina, Oklahoma, Iowa, all over the nation. So that's going to be a great show, August 9th through the 23rd. So join us on the 9th. We'll have the art gallery talk at 4 p.m. The art should be open from 4 to 6. We'll have a reception outside. You can come meet the artists, see the works. And then we will be open daily, 7 days a week through the 23rd. Also, we've got our new website up online. If you're on Facebook, facebook.com/Langdon Center. We'll take you to the Langdon Center homepage. We've also got a new page for the Galleries of Granbury, facebook.com/Galleries of Granbury. So log on. We're trying to keep that up to date. So if you're looking for information on all of the galleries, galleriesofgranbury.com. No, that'll be facebook.com/Galleries of Granbury.
Hello, my name is Cynthia James, and I'm artist owner of Artifacts. And here lately, because the summer is almost faded, I've started working on my large sculptural work, and over the next 2 months, I'm going to have a lot more of it. So those of you that really like my larger work, please be paying attention and come in the next 2 months. Something else I want to mention is Preserve Granbury is also doing a fundraiser at the Peak, and I'm going to be donating a very large sculpture there, and I should have it on display in the next couple of weeks. So if you'd like to make a silent bid or come to the evening, please just contact me and I'll be happy to show off that piece as well. We're trying to raise money to make downtown Granbury an even more beautiful place. And now I'm going to segue into what I did last month. There were a number of you that wanted to see how I finish off the pieces with silver, copper, or other metals. So in just a moment, we're going to head to the back and check that out. So come follow me and we'll start working. Hi, now we're back in my workshop. And as I said, many of you have asked me, how do I do some of this? Well, I will tell you that it's a little harder than it looks. So if you have trouble, come to me and I'll fix it. First, you need to start off with the right tools. You need a cutter, you need a flat pliers, you need rounded pliers, and I like these pliers with a bent edge to just go in very, very tight to clean everything up. And so last time we looked and I showed you exactly how I made some of my glass pieces. And then I told you that I would show you in a very short manner how to do them to where I do the silver work so that we can actually use them as jewelry. So now you know where the tools are. The next would be the type of wire. And as beginners, I highly recommend doing copper or doing the fun wire that's all different colors. Both of these are relatively inexpensive and they're a great way to mess up time and time and time again, because it will take you a while to get good at this. Now, I happen to use sterling silver wire because I think my pieces deserve it, and I've practiced a whole lot. A lot of the times I use 19 gauge sterling silver wire, 18 gauge sterling silver, and 20 gauge sterling silver, depending on the size of the pendant. So in this case, I'm going to show how I'm going to put a bail, which is what that top portion is called, on my star. So I've cut off a length of sterling silver wire, and I'm going to insert it here. I am going to bend it up. I'm going to take my flat pliers, and in this case, because it's a little thicker, we're going to allow for that, and we're going to bend it, and we're going to bend it. And I recognize that because this is just a short TV show, if you have any questions, because I know there will be some, please come into the shop and I'll be happy to show you, because this is pretty much basic wire wrapping. So now you can see I have just a nice little loop. So now I'm going to bend it around, and there will be techniques where I'm pushing and pulling with my fingers that are going to be hard to see, and without me getting hit in the face with the wire. So now I have the bottom one on there. I'm going to use my nippers and clip it there. Then I come back with the curved ones to be tidy. So now I have that piece all nice, and I'm going to now make the bail. You can use any, I've used pencils, I've used my finger, and in this case I actually use a tool that this is good for. And I know the size that most of my necklaces and chains can go around, and so this is a good average size for me to do. So if you can see, I've gone around 3 times. Then I'm going to wrap it around the base and clip it again. And then again with my twisted or bent ones, I'm going to come in and clean up the back. And one of the things that I wanted to tell you all that was very important to me when I was much, much younger, I took a class, or it was actually given a class in needlework. And I was so proud of my piece, and the teacher held it up in front of the class, and I was even more proud until she turned it around and showed the back, and all of my little threads were showing, and she used mine as the example of how it was to not look. Mortified. I was absolutely mortified. Well, over the years, especially as I started doing more and more artwork, I have to say thank you very much to that teacher, because now my fronts look as beautiful as the backs. Now, you can also do this with just a hole in the stone or a hole through the stone. And in this case, and that would be another lesson where we're going to wrap and wrap and wrap and create the same thing, but I have used all sorts of wire wrap, and as I said just shortly ago, my backs look as beautiful as my fronts. So come into the shop, we'd love to see you, and I hope this helped. Lesson 101. Thanks, bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Julie Pitts and I'm the proprietor here of Yarn Extraordinaire. This is an unusual yarn shop here because we do a lot of different things. Within Granbury, it's a wonderful town where we have people who raise animals. Linda right here, she lives at Toller and she raises her own Angora goats, and the Angora goats, we do lots of fun things with Angora. Angora is wonderful fiber. And Angora is what we use when we do our teddy bear artistry. And also up here in this shop we do a lot of teddy bear artistry. And the teddy bears I don't have right here right now, but they are made out of Angora goats. It turns into mohair fabric. And we're having a teddy bear show in Grapevine. It will be September 11th, and we welcome all of you to come and see the teddy bear artistry of North Texas. It's going to be a fun thing that we are bringing the teddy bear artists all together in Texas to show the artistry that they do with their teddy bears. But up here, what we're doing right now tonight is we bring the fiber from, we have llamas that are raised all around the area here along with her mohair goats. And this right here is llama that has been sent off to a fiber mill and it's produced, and once we get it back from the fiber mill it's been cleaned and processed and straightened all out, and then from that we do lots of different things. You'll see the ladies over here spinning. We take this fiber from the fiber mill. Linda, of course, right here she has processed her own fiber with her goats, and she's spinning it. And then Diane over here, she's spinning fiber that has come from the llamas. And then over here at this table, we also take that fiber from the llamas. And Bibi, you have a rug down there that you could show that we do locker hooking. And with the hooking that we do, this is something that's been created out of the local llama. This all came from locally, from Granbury, and this has been locker hooked into a rug. Cindy right here is our locker hooking teacher, and she's right now teaching a class on how to do this locker hooking. You could come up here and take all kinds of classes. We do classes in hooking, locker hooking, spinning, knitting, weaving, which is what Ryan's doing right now. He's weaving what his mother had processed from the goats, and he's weaving it now on what we call a rigid heddle loom. They're small looms that anybody can work. They're not those great big ones. You can make scarves. All kinds of fun things can be made on these looms. And this is what we do with all this fiber, which is great. Now also up here in the shop, I buy fiber from many of the yarn companies. You could come in, you can learn how to knit, you can learn how to crochet, you can learn how to do all the fun things that we do up here. You can make Christmas presents. Just come and visit us and see what we do and have lots of fun.
My name is Richard Harvey. I'm the featured artist at Hamlin's this week from the LGAA. I work in primarily in pencil, but I'm doing pastels, watercolors, and just about all of it at this point. I'm doing a lot of experimenting right now, but I'm best known for the pencil work. No, I work, a lot of people like to, for example, a lot of people have said, well, why don't you specialize in Western? But I can't do that. I get bored with it. Yeah. I do Native American, I do wildlife, I do some Western. I guess right now I'm doing a lot of Native American. What I'm working on right now is characters for a painting that's going to be, I think, about 80 inches long. I've been drawing, let's see, it's about 18 years now. I started drawing out in Abilene. I went back out there to take care of my mother because she was ill, and she was a well-known portrait painter, and I started trying to get her to start drawing again, and she'd had a stroke, and I kept pushing the pencil and paper at her. She kept pushing it back, and that's the way it all got started. I hear so many people say, well, I couldn't draw, so I started painting. And it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. Drawing is the basis of art, and if you can't draw, you're not going to paint well, period. And that's going to annoy some people, but that's fact.
art classes because she had no prerequisites. She had graduated from Stanford High School in the 1940s, a good school with fine teachers, but it had no prerequisites. After some discussion, she was allowed into the classes. Would you believe that they only cost $15 for all the supplies? To pay for this, she worked overtime at JCPenney's. She's taught art for almost 50 years. 25 years were spent traveling, having one-woman shows, workshops, and working in continuing education programs. During the school year, she taught in Houston. In the summer, her 2 sons, the dog, and a car full of paintings, and Paula were off on a new adventure. The classes were held in garages, colleges, auto showrooms, libraries, banks, and even fire stations, always with good people. These students became mothers and fathers, then grandmothers and grandfathers, and they still paint together today. In time, her sons Kirk and Paul grew up. She went alone. Even the dog stayed home when she went off to shows. For 9 years, she had a small gallery in Houston, and finally time to retire. Retirement was short-lived. She moved to Granbury, where she began teaching again. Her students, Ann Tarleton's Janice Horick and Carolyn Detman, have renewed her art spirit. Each day, she lives in that exciting make-believe world called art. She stays there until it's time to start dinner for her best friend, Bill.
People at Tarleton about art and math in art.
Right.
Because art is math. Mm-hmm. It really is. And they're just so amazed that, how is it math? Well, how are you going to put that together?
Yeah.
How do these things overlap? Or do they overlap, or are they separated? You know, you have a large, medium, and small. And they're very receptive to it. And the little boys are the most receptive. They really are. They're getting to do something they want to do.
My name's Marjorie Ross. I'm here at Divine Wine, watercoloring and some things like that from the Shanley House, LGAA. I'm delighted to be here, and I do watercolors, I do mixed media, I do all sorts of paints, whatever it takes to make a statement. I've been painting a long time. I've lived in Granbury a long time, and I'm always delighted to tell everyone how wonderful it is, what a nice place it is, and I just would like to introduce you to my watercolors. If the girls want to take photos of them, however they want to do it. It's a different medium when you go into watercolor. It's one that takes a lot of discipline. I always tell my students the 3 Ds: discipline, determination, and whatever. Anyway, I'm
We're here at Stringfellows and with Elizabeth Sutton, the featured artist here for the LGAA Gallery Night. Elizabeth, what is your primary media?
Mostly watercolors, oils, and acrylics. I'm using acrylics right now. I'm using some watercolor techniques with them though, especially the sky.
Yeah. How did you get into doing this kind of media?
Well, it's basically a hobby. I've been doing it all my life and just developing my skills over the years, and I just got involved in the LGAA as a way to meet other artists, and they have workshops and interact with people.
Do you do just these little kind of paintings, or do you all different sizes?
No, these are specifically miniatures. We have a miniatures show later on in the year, and so I thought might as well create some things for that. And I figured I'd just take them along today and see if people like them at all.
Yeah. How long have you been painting and doing this kind of art?
Acrylics, really only the past 5 or 6 years. I'd say I've been doing watercolor longest. And after that, oils, and I really only got into acrylics fairly recently.
And if you had to give one piece of advice to beginners, what would you tell them?
Keep at it, and the time you sink into it definitely does show in your work. So practice does, if not make perfect, it does make improvements.